Hey guys, it's Phil Tomato. Today, we're going to be talking about trusting the process. The art process, more specifically. By the way, this drawing was inspired by the Powerpuff Girls episode called Mime for a Change. In my own opinion, it's one of the best Powerpuff Girls episode because of the song Love Makes the World Go Round. It's hella catchy, and if you guys are in a nostalgic mood, I highly recommend you watch it. I grew up watching Cartoon Network in the 90s, and it clearly left a mark on me. Even now, I find myself watching random episodes of Powerpuff Girls from time to time. But not the remakes. We don't talk about the remakes. We're talking about the OG Powerpuff Girls. Did you know originally they were called the Whoop-Ass Girls? There was a series on Cartoon Network called What a Cartoon Show that featured a pilot for the Powerpuff Girls, and it was pretty cool. I could talk on and on about how amazing the What a Cartoon Show was, but I'll save it for another time. In this piece, the main challenge was how do I create it in such a way that I can squeeze as much characters in and still make it cohesive piece. One of the difficulties of creating a piece with multiple characters in it is that if you're not careful, it's going to become a cluttered mess. If you don't position the characters correctly, or choose the wrong kind of pose, it's going to obscure certain elements of the drawing that you don't want hidden. So it becomes a balancing act. So you know what I did? I trusted the process. There's a way to create the composition using the rules already put in place by the old masters, like the rule of thirds. There's a way to distort anatomy in a way that it becomes stylized and more gestural. There's a way to create the perspective needed so that the foreground elements and the background elements can be discerned better. One of the hardest things an artist faces is trusting the process. The gauntlet we need to go through in order to become a much better versions of ourselves. There's not a day that goes by that I don't doubt myself. I beat myself up over it, asking questions like, why aren't you good enough? You should be better by now. Look at everybody around you. Why aren't you as good as them yet or better? So many doubts go through my mind on a daily basis, and if I'm not careful, I might believe those doubts and cripple myself mentally. Whenever I find myself being overwhelmed by stuff, it's important to take a step back and realign my mental state. But I understand. Trusting the process is kind of like trusting the rope line you need to follow to get out of the dark cave. You probably ask another artist how to get good, and the odds are they might say the same thing. Just keep drawing. I know it kind of sounds like a cop-out answer, but there's a lot of truth to it. It's like working out. It's not just about gaining muscles. Along the way, you get to know your body more. You understand your limitations and capabilities. You'll learn about nutrition, the kind of exercises you need to do to get those gains. So it's the same thing with drawing. It's the journey, not the destination. Along the way, while you're going on this journey of becoming a better artist, you're going to feel lost. You're going to feel like nothing's working, and just like being on the road, you're going to feel like you're going around in circles. You're going to start doubting yourself. You're probably on this journey right now, and you're on this phase of the trip, but don't fret. The old masters that we talked about, well, they already paved a path for you to help you reach your goal. If you're a beginner, if you just started this artistic journey, it's very important to follow said paths. Otherwise, you'll get lost. And there are a lot of people out there who are on the journey who got lost because they deviated off the path way too soon. It's like climbing Mount Everest. It doesn't matter how fit you are or how prepared you are. If you don't have a Sherpa to guide you, you're going to lose your way. Or worse. So whenever an artist looks up to you and says, keep drawing, what they're really telling you is embrace the journey. Because while going down this road that other artists have paved for you, they're going to be leaving signs on where to go. They're going to leave some rations that will help you with the trip. Sometimes you're going to come across other artists like you, and they're going to join them on the adventure. Down this road, you're going to meet other experienced artists, and will give you a heads up on what to expect along the way. You're going to come across roadblocks, sometimes impassable because you don't have the right tools and or the experience to break through it just yet. You're going to come across other people on this road with you who are amazing and you just want to be just like them. And on the other side of the coin, you're going to meet bad ones. the ones that tell you to just quit, or the ones that guide you through the wrong paths because of their inexperience. There's going to be others that take advantage of you and just suck the energy right out of you. So when they say keep drawing, what they mean is trust the process. The journey to becoming a great artist is a long one. It's going to take most of your life, but let me tell you, it's been a wonderful journey so far. It's a very humbling experience, one that everybody should go through. This is the way, the only way. This is why I feel sorry for people who go down the road of AI art, because they deny themselves going down that road that we all need to take to become a better person. You'll never understand why the road is significant. You'll never understand why people choose to go down that path instead of the path of least resistance. The great thing about trusting the process is you learn the right way. It's like learning how to swing the sword right, how to cast the spell the proper way. Without training, no matter how talented you are, you're never going to reach your full potential if you take shortcuts. Trusting the process can be overwhelming at times. Sometimes I even fight it and try to do things on my own, hiding my inadequacies through art style. I remember I really stuck at drawing hands, and I still do sometimes, but I forced myself to learn. I hunkered down and really went in depth on it. And because somewhere down my journey, I went down this road that another artist paved for me. His name was Fred Moore. He was a Disney artist who I was in love with, and I learned so much about gesture through the way he draws. There's just so much life to it, and because I went down this path, my drawing started to become less stiff and more whimsical. So because I already learned how to create gesture really well, it made me create hands less stiff and more alive. One of the biggest obstacles that we talked about that will hinder you while going down the road is gesture work. I'm sure when you draw, you often find your drawings to be really stiff, kind of like drawing a mannequin. So, to remedy this, I highly recommend you guys go down roads that teaches you how to become a great at gesture work. It's like playing Minecraft. You gather items to help you craft stuff that you need to go forward. The more you get acquainted with the world, the more you understand the ins and outs. It's the same with drawing. You're going to take a leap of faith and get to know the roads that you'll be traveling on, because once you do, you'll understand what you need to do to break that roadblock. Over time, you become a much better adventurer. Roads that you found difficult will surprisingly be a breeze for you. Roadblocks that you found impossible to break will all of a sudden melt like butter once you go through it. You start to understand the clues that the old masters left for you. You start to understand what you need to do. Sometimes, after going through the road countless times, you'll even discover some exploits, and when you do, don't forget to leave some clues on the road you're on so that if another adventurer goes down it, they'll benefit from your kindness. Like playing a Dark Souls game, you know? Other players can guide you through a secret location that you would otherwise never find. On the other hand, you'll also see clues left by other players that'll send you down the wrong path. There will be so many roads to take on your journey, and you're going to have to take a lot of them. It can be daunting at first, but the more you keep doing it, the less daunting it'll be. But if there ever is a tip I could give you, it's to take all the roads and get to know all of them. It's going to take a lot of work on your part, and you might even feel like quitting, but you know what? Nothing good ever came easy. When it starts feeling difficult, don't forget to rest. The process takes time. You'll never understand how things work right away, but eventually you will, I guarantee it. What separates a regular artist from a great artist is the ability to keep moving forward despite everything the road throws at him. As Rocky said, it's not how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Every artist has their own pace, some fast, some slow, some carefully. Some just YOLO themselves through everything the gauntlet throws at them. So go at your own pace, however it may be. This is your adventure, and you'll get to decide how this story plays out. Although the pursuit of art might be a worthwhile thing to do, it can oftentimes feel very lonesome. Oftentimes, while going down this road, you'll feel very lonely, as if no one cares about what you're doing, and you'll feel like it's a waste of time. A lot of artists from the past have felt this way. One such artist that comes to mind is Vincent van Gogh. Everybody knows who dear old Vincent is, how beautiful his paintings were, especially his most popular painting, The Starry Night. If you ask people where he painted it, odds are they're going to say he painted it at night, in a wide open space outside a hill somewhere. But in reality, he painted it while he was admitted to a psychiatric hospital, while he was in his room. He painted it while he was looking outside the window. Vincent trusted the process, learned from the best, even had a best friend who was also an amazing painter, Paul Gauguin. But somewhere down the road, it took a huge toll on him mentally. He was constantly haunted by thoughts of inadequacy. He wrote to his brother Theo about his hardships, and it's really quite heartbreaking. The pursuit of art is a worthwhile thing to do, but it's going to be challenging both mentally and physically. So while you're doing this, please be kinder to yourself. Success will happen, but not overnight. Your feelings of guilt and inadequacy are both valid, and you know what? It's actually a good sign to feel that way. Let me explain. That means you care about your work. You care about the quality, and you are aware of your own inadequacy, and only the roads can show you those kinds of truths. As painful as it sounds, this is actually a healthy mindset. It grounds you and makes you humble. You start to respect the hard work put on by other artists. The amount of hours they put in their craft must be incredible. That's actually what makes me fall in love with art over and over again. I can see their souls in a way, their personalities, what makes them human. I can tell if an artist is obsessed with clouds because of how they painted it, how much they love water because they managed to capture what makes it beautiful. The more you continue down the roads you need to take, you're going to come across other artists' work. Some bad, some good. Some that just takes your breath away, that'll stop you in your tracks, and it just touches your soul, beckoning you to draw something as beautiful as what you drew, as what they drew rather. Trusting the process is not just about becoming a better artist. Trusting the process allows you to fall in love with things you wouldn't even think of falling in love with. Like how a leaf looks like when sunlight pierces it. The sensuality of a pose, for example. How a sunset looks like as it creates a prism of colors as it goes down. Every time you go down the roads, you start to discover new things to be obsessed over. And whatever it is that you become obsessed over, it will show on the paintings that you create. And that, my friend, is your soul. By honing your skills, by constantly grinding on the roads, you're going to notice that your art becomes brighter. Other people are going to start noticing your glow, and that glow will be the light that guides you forward. You're going to be obsessed with making the glow brighter. It's going to guide those who are lost in the roads. You're going to drop some embers as you travel so that others may use it on their journey. You start to get to know the roads more, where every road leads because you walked on them. It might bring a smile to your face looking at a particular road and remembering the time you just couldn't get through an obstacle. Heck, you might even make your own road, a new one, something that everyone's going to be excited to take once they get there. This will be your legacy. Your art is going to outlive you, so might as well leave something that'll inspire others. Probably one of the biggest obstacles you're going to face when you're going down the road of trusting the process is yourself. Like I said earlier, you're going to notice your own inadequacies. You're going to feel powerless most of the time because the things you need to learn feel like an impossible task. I remember when I was learning about colors, I couldn't wrap my head around how subsurface scattering works. When I went down the road of creating backgrounds, I didn't understand the importance of perspective. Sometimes when learning something, it's going to feel like fighting a boss you're too low level to defeat, and you know what? Just like in video games, the only way to defeat a boss is to level up, slowly but surely. You're going to understand how the world works, and when you're skillful enough, you're even going to show the essence of what makes that thing beautiful. That's what art is, in my opinion. It's not just about copying what you see, it's the ability to see and draw the most beautiful aspects of what they deem beautiful. It always blows my mind when an artist can get their idea across with only a few brushstrokes. When they use colors in places I just can't wrap my head around. Maybe someday, When I keep traveling down the roads of trusting the process, my answers might lie on the other side. Maybe the farther I'll travel, the answers will get clearer. Maybe if I work hard enough, things will finally make sense. So, what's on the other side of the roads, you may ask? What makes people pursue? What is that thing that's worth it in the end? Is it gold? Fame? A warehouse full of spam? No one really knows. I guess you could say, what lies beyond the roads is something much more important than tangible things. It's what you need. Something that our souls need. There are 3 things inside of us that makes us who we are. The mind, the body, and the spirit. And these things need to be satiated. For the mind, it's the constant pursuit of being intellectually stimulated. For the body, it's the need to be healthy. For the spirit, it's the need to have a purpose. Everyone should have a purpose, otherwise we wander this earth lacking something very important. It really doesn't matter what your purpose is. It could be collecting figurines, or it could be traveling. It could be creating art. Whatever that may be, the most important thing is that it stokes the fire in your soul. You're going to feel whole again. It's a feeling that might be new to some people that aren't used to getting their souls lit, but trust me when I say, it's going to be the most addicting thing you're ever going to feel. It's going to feel like this is what you were put in this world for. What people think about you will suddenly won't matter. Only yours matters, and through this, you will be in control of your destiny. You're going to be a beacon of hope to people in this world that needs art more than ever. You're going to play a role much bigger than you thought you would. Now the question is, will you travel down the road? How far will you go, I wonder? How bright will you burn? I just hope that when you do, I get to feel that warmth. Maybe we'll come across each other someday. When we do, I hope you'll have a cup of tea with me and share your stories. If you made it through this video, please consider giving me a like and subscribe. This will let me know if I'm heading the right direction when it comes to making videos like this. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something as much as I enjoyed making it. Phew, that was a long video. Also, a huge thanks to my amazing patrons over on Patreon who make everything happen. If you want to, please consider being one of my patrons. I'll leave a link down below. I'll see you next time. Oh, and I almost forgot, I stream on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so I'll see you there, okay? Cheers!